Welcome to the Tennis Warehouse racket review of the Head Gravity MP 2023. Head continues to set the bar high with the Gravity line of rackets. With a sleek, iridescent cosmetic and new Auxetic technology, the Gravity MP offers plush comfort and controllable power. Additionally, this update gets a slightly more flexible beam, resulting in a 59 stiffness RA. The racket also features a 16 by 20 string pattern, an 11-ounce strung weight, and a 3-points headlight balance. When I first got the Gravity MP in my hands, I thought, wow, this is a really good looking racket. It's probably one of my favorite cosmetics from Head to date. And then when I actually got down on the court, I played a mix of just really intense practice sessions as well as some singles matches. And from the baseline, I was really able to get a good groove with this racket, especially when I was hitting cross courts. It was actually slightly lower powered than I expected it to be for its weight, so that allowed me to really generate racket head speed and really swing through the ball without overhitting. However, when it came to point play, I did lose a little bit of precision, so I found myself aiming for bigger targets. Now, when I approached the net, what stood out the most to me was the comfortable plush feel that this racket offered on my volleys. When it came to serves, I wasn't getting as much free power as I usually like. Even though I was swinging fast, it wasn't producing a deep or heavy ball. So I really focused on my slice serves, especially out wide on the deuce side. The one thing I thought with this racket was, while it's stable for its weight, it's under 300 grams unstrung. It wasn't stable enough for me at certain times, and this was most apparent on my returns. I could feel a little bit of fluttering when I was hitting or returning those bigger serves. Overall, this is a really unique playing frame that offers a low-powered response and a lightweight package.
I was a huge fan of the previous Gravity MP and continue to be with this update. On court, I thought the playability was nearly identical to that previous version. It's a super user-friendly racket, really easy to generate racket head speed with, which was great for not only spin, but also finding some nice sharp angles with it. But I thought the access to spin was excellent, and I thought the control was really good as well, thanks to that slightly tighter 16 by 20 string pattern. With this update, I did feel like it was more flexible and more arm-friendly due to that lower RA and with that addition of Auxetic in the throat piece. My one negative was that this racket felt like it lacked a bit of put-away power and torsional stability. I felt like this was a great racket to just rally with, but if I wanted to play points or a set with it, I'd definitely add some tungsten tape to it just to up that overall weight. But overall, I thought this was a subtle but really solid update. Let's check in with our team on the East Coast. Austin, what'd you guys think of this racket?
Thanks, Jason. I must admit, coming into this play test, I was a little apprehensive looking at the Gravity MP on paper. Individually, none of the specs really strike me as something that I tend to go for, but I approached the play test with an open mind, and I'm really glad that I did. From the baseline, the Gravity MP offers a lot. It's very maneuverable, very whippy, not the most stable racket, but what it offers is a very easy access to launch and spin. Off both wings, I found that because it was a little bit more maneuverable, flexible racket, it was really conducive for bigger swings, taking really big cuts at the ball, and really rewarded me with lots of depth and attacking balls from that aspect of the court. Up at net, it was a little bit more give and take. The maneuverability of the racket lent itself to quick hands and getting in position often, but because the racket is a little on the lighter side, fending off more heavily hit shots was a little bit of a challenge. On the serve, going back to those same aspects, the whippiness and the quickness of the racket through the ball, I felt like I was really able to get behind my serves and really give myself good margin both on the first and the second serve. Overall, the Gravity MP is a staple tweener entry and is a must check out for any sort of player who's looking for easy access to launch and spin control.
When I first saw this new Head Gravity MP, I fell in love with the new cosmetic right away. I thought it looked really cool and I couldn't wait to get on the court and see what it was all about. After my first few strokes with this racket, it became very obvious that this one is just extremely soft, super flexible, maybe even a bit more so than the previous generation. I definitely felt this flexibility, especially in the shots when I was just kind of chipping the ball back instead of hitting full swings. So I felt a bit more disconnected in those shots. This level of flexibility can be a positive or a negative depending on your personal preference. For me, unfortunately, it was a negative only because I tend to prefer rackets that give a bit crispier response from my shots. When it comes to the weight of the racket, I actually did feel like it was a bit too light for me. So I would personally either add a bit more weight to it and customize it that way, or actually I would gravitate towards, pun intended, the Gravity Pro. All in all, if you're a player looking for a softer feeling racket with great spin potential, definitely check this one out. We are now going to head over to Tenniswarehouse Europe in Germany to see how this racket tested with their playtesters. Benji, what are your thoughts on this racket?
Thank you, Sophie. I was super excited to play with the new version. I was not super convinced by the older version, and right now it is one of my biggest surprises for this year. I was just expecting some new experiments, and now I can wait to play with. Even if the weight is lower than the racket I used to play, I felt comfortable with and I wasn't disturbed by the difference regarding the weight. One of the first things who hit me about this racket is on one end the comfort, thanks to the sweet spot bigger than the average frame. I didn't get so much time to enjoy playing with, mostly thanks to the Auxetic Technology. I also like the stability. It allowed me to play fully my game and stay close from the baseline even when my opponent hit big strokes. It was a very good weapon on return to take the advantage during the rallies also. The swing pattern in 16 by 20 is a good balance to have spin in one end and more control in the other end. On every aspect of the game I could put spin to win the points, and now I can wait to play on clay. At the net, the racket is perfectly responsive. I only noticed a small lack of touch, especially when the ball is under the net. In overall, it was a really good surprise for me, and right now it could be my racket of choice. I found this racket more easier to play compared to Prestige, for example, or from the older version. If I have to advise this racket, I would advise to player with profile like counterpuncher.
First of all, I got high expectation about this new Head Gravity MP, as I really liked the previous version. First, the design of this new Head Gravity looked really classy. I really like it. From the baseline, I really appreciate the sensation that the 16-20 string patterns offers me during the rallies. On my backhands, I was able to generate both spins and slices with the correct amount of power and precision. On my forehand, I got some opportunity to finish the point, and it was with confidence and aggressivity. About my volleys, I really feel the stability of this racket when I was in a defensive position. The maneuverability was also a good point of the Head Gravity MP, especially for the low volleys. About my serve, it was really easy to get my first serve in, and I was able to make some good slices and kicks serve with my second serve. Overall, I really love this racket because it gave me the perfect combination between power and precision, but also it offered me the perfect amount of maneuverability. I would recommend this racket for competitors who are looking for comfortable, powerful, but also control racket. We strung up this Head Gravity MP with the Head Link Store and also the Head Hawk Power at 52 pounds or 25 kilos. If you need more information about this racket or any tennis gear, go check them out on Tenniswarehouse, Tenniswarehouse Europe, or Tennis Only. Thanks for watching.